Tonight, the stars and the cars of the DRTV Premiere Cup Series tackle right and left-hand turns at the Watkins Glen International Speedway. So grab a snack, something to drink, and strap yourself in because you're for a wild ride next on DRTV, live on the DRL Network.
And we welcome you to DRL Network's live coverage of a DRTV Premiere Cup Series. Come to you live tonight from the Watkins Glen International. We've coined the race DRTV at the Glen for this special evening, the first trip that DRTV has ever made to this beautiful 2.45-mile facility in upstate New York, and we're so thrilled to have it tonight, a part of this awesome Saturday night. Thank you out there for everybody out in YouTube land for watching us tonight. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with my broadcast partners, Too Tall Todd Stanton, Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, as always, in the DRTV control booth. And Todd, what can you say? We've never broadcast on one of these live races here at one of these road courses, and what better one to choose than Watkins Glen? I think we're going to be in for a wild night.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of the road courses out of the two that the NASCAR guys drive on and run on yearly, it would be Watkins Glen. It's actually not, it's about 2.5, 3 hours from me personally. Never been to one of these road course races. Never really interested me, Phil. But it's an interesting aspect in the same sort. So I've seen some good races here. I really have.
No, there's been some wonderful races here over the years. You know, not only we've seen in the NASCAR ranks, but also in this community. NASCAR ranks John 3. I've seen many a Watkins Glen races many a times come down the last couple laps, including one just out of the stables here running at TDR just one evening ago. We've seen a great race here, and I'm expecting nothing short here tonight. 36 laps around tonight, the big main event distance for the Premiere Cup Series. I believe race number 22 of the NASCAR Premiere Cup Series here for these guys here this evening. And Mr. TV Time Rich Patton will bring you into the conversation. The first time on DRTV to one of these road courses, and we're certainly going to test the skill of these guys in the Premiere Cup Series tonight. Just the turns of right and left, on the gas, off the gas, all the shift and braking points. Going to make for a very interesting evening and something we certainly don't see a lot of.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I, for one, enjoy the road courses. I think it's a personal challenge to attack the track and just to see how well you can get around this track on yourself. It's a different aspect than what we're used to with the ovals. The ovals, you know, there's a lot of drafting involved and a lot of chess moves, you might call it. But here at the Glen, I think it's going to boil down to we're going to really find out tonight who the real drivers are here. This is definitely a driver's challenge course, and I think it's going to be interesting. Like you said, we're going to be doing 36 laps around here. Tire wear is going to be 2x. Pit window seems to be between 17 and 19 laps. Pit road speed is going to be 45 mile an hour. And one interesting aspect that we add into this being on a road course is that we are running with no caution. So if these guys mess up, there's not going to be any catch up. They're going to have to make sure their car is clean to stay in this event. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich. You said no caution flags as per the road course rules, as always, what these guys do at TDR Racing. Road courses always run with the benefit of no cautions. You know, who wants to run one of these races with, 13, 14, 15 caution laps? We want to see green flag racing. We want to see these guys attack the course, and I think we're certainly going to see that tonight. Said Todd, going to be a great evening here. An awesome field of cars on hand. I count 21 drivers that have come through the pit lane, and this is going to be one wild race. I can't wait to get this thing underway, and of course we got that scramble coming up down in a couple of weeks. A lot of great stuff coming up in this series in the weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great things in the weeks to come, and a lot of drivers still looking for that win. And there's a lot of different guys out there that are road course experts out there. One of the guys that don't have a win, there's a couple guys that don't have a win on the season, Phil, and they're trying to get themselves in the scramble. I believe one of them is still Martin Karch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he is one of those crafty road course veterans.
No, he certainly is, and you hit it right on the head. Martin coming in tonight winless on the season. However, by virtue of the scramble qualifications, he would be the last driver in right now, virtue of the top three guys in the point standings that are non-winners. Those three coming in tonight, Ryan Johnson, Ken Hansen, and Martin Karch just snuck his way in. He's got 2 points better on the dog, John Palmer, coming in tonight. Those guys, non-winners, racing for that last scramble spot. We'll update all the scramble happenings, the point standings, everything coming in. But, Todd, we're probably about a minute away from putting this thing under the green flag. So let's see, partner, if we can't just jump straight toward the starting lineup.
Yep, the DRTV at the Glen, Watkins Glen International Speedway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 31, that is Derek Justice, his dancing partner to outside pole. Starting in that second starting position in the 02, that's Blake McClanis.
Row number 2 tonight, we find the driver of car number 92, the high side hustler, Martin Karch, and to his outside, also winless on the season in car number 22. That's Gary Piccolo.
Starting at 5th starting position, driving the 103, that's Carson Crins, and outside of him, driving the number 18, that's Robert Malcolm.
Rolling off from 7th position tonight will be the driver of car number 121. He was a feature winner a couple of weeks ago. That'll be Steve Looney. And to his outside, newcomer to the series, been having some really solid runs aboard car number 28. That is Jerry Walters.
Starting inside row number 5 in that 9th starting position, that's the driver of the 109, that's Ken Hansen, and outside of him, driving the number 10, one of them Insomniac Motorsports sponsored machines, that is Dennis Chambers.
Another Insomniac Motorsports driver tonight will roll off from position number 11. That, of course, Fast Eddie Lee aboard the number 210, and to his outside in the number 90, TDR Zone, that's Jack Truin.
We welcome back driver the number 19, Jeffrey Goodpaster, starting in that 13th starting position. Normally see him on the super speedways. This is strange for Jeffrey Goodpaster to be out here at a road course. And outside of him, driving the number 59, that's Ryan Johnson.
15th starter tonight, we find the driver of car number 028. That, of course, is Monty Keller. And to his outside, we welcome back to the Premiere Cup Series in the number 86, that's Jim Black.
Starting 17th on the grid, driving the number 108, that's John Palmer. And outside of him, that's Bobby Farrell aboard the number 43.
Row number 10, 19th starter, we find the driver of the number 512. That is Danny Johnston. And to his outside, coming from deep in the field tonight, a road course ringer. Keep an eye on the flying number 2. That'll be Tom Sylvain.
And starting shotgun on the field, driving that number 98, that's Bill Martino.
So that is your 21 car starting lineup. DRTV at the Glen, 36 laps around. The 11-turn tricky road course in upstate New York. It's going to make for a fantastic evening of racing. Just cannot wait to see where all this goes. And as we said earlier in the pre-race, no caution flags. So we pay attention here, Todd. When you get down toward turn number 1, it's going to be a fast start. There's not a full pace lap. These guys are going to grid right in turn 9, just toward the entrance of turn 10. We're going to see these guys hard on the gas pedal really quick. But, of course, when you come to Watkins Glen, you get to that tricky turn number 1, that 90-degree right-hand corner, you're going to get on the brakes. Just tell us, Todd, before we get onto the green flag, how tricky is it to get in that corner there when you got cars around you and try to keep your fenders clean? Because we are in realistic damage.
Yeah, that's real tricky. As you come down into turn 1, they call it the 90, and it's the 90. You really have to roll up. As you're coming down into turn number 2, you hit the S's into turn 2, 3, and 4. Then you come down to the back straightaway, Phil. The back straightaway, which you can get up to pretty good speed, but then you're going to have to be hard on the brakes. Down into the inner loop and the outer loop, down into there. Then you come down into the chute, which is turn number 6. Coming down into the toe, turn 7. The boot is down on the backside there. And then you go into the heel, which is in turn 8, 9, 10, and 11. They're all different turns. There's not a technical name for them, but it's kind of like the heel goes into those turns. So that's kind of what they're going to go through here at the start of this race before they go down to turn 1 here. Green flag getting ready to come out, Phil, at the Watkins Glen International Speedway. I'm going to let you have the call.
Pace fan is in, awaiting the green flag here. They come all the way down this long front straightaway here at Watkins Glen. Green flag is in the air. Derek Justice, your pole sitter, he's going to lead the field into turn number 1. Blake McCandless, have not seen a lot of him at all in the 0-2. He'll start outside pole. They go through the chute there into turn 1 through to 90 degrees. Derek Justice will be first through the door there as he gets loose there, Todd. They're going to be side by side for the race lead up through the S's.
Yeah, Derek Justice was loose. It's going to drop quick him to right around the 3rd position. Blake McConnell is going to run in that 2nd spot. First right now is Martin Karch. As he is coming right now, he's coming down the back straightaway. He's going to come down into that inner loop. He's going to have to brake and downshift here. Coming into that inner loop, you're going to mostly see these guys hit those rumble strips a little bit. They're almost upsetting their cars. Then they're going to hit Martin Karch now coming down into the chute, Phil. This is turn number 6 at Watkins Glen. He is your current race leader in that number 92.
Yeah, they come off that fast right-hand turn down that little short straightaway to get down toward the left-hander, which is turn 10 here at Watkins Glen. You get down on the brakes, a hard left-hand turn here, almost down to about 2nd gear. Try to hold as many RPMs as you can. Martin, of course, a road course ringer in his own right. We know he's really good on the dirt. He certainly gets around this Watkins Glen International real good, Todd. He's going to lead lap number 1 off turn 11.
Yep, definitely going to lead lap number 1 here, going down through the speedway here as we're looking down through. Blake McCandless sitting in that second spot. Third right now is Derek Justice. Gary Piccolo in that number 22. He is running in that 4th spot. He's way off the track right now. He's up there in no man's land. I wonder if it's the fastest route up there, Phil. You asked me that one time here a couple of weeks ago here when we were running Watkins Glen. But Gary Piccolo running in that 4th spot. 5th is Carson Krins. 6th, Robert Balcom. 7th is Steve Looney. Looney having a pretty good run there. Solid top 10 here early on in the going. Jerry Walters running 8th. 9th is Dennis Chambers. And Tom Salvain, Phil, in that number 2. He has come all the way from that 20th starting position. He has already got around 10 drivers.
Yeah, he's certainly fast. I raced with Tom a night ago over at TDR here in their All-America Pro Series they do here on Friday night. Tom was one of the fastest cars at a good field. He was able to rock it away. He ended up on the runner-up spot, but he led a lot of laps at Watkins Glen last night. Certainly really fast. When I seen him starting in that 20th position tonight, I said it was only going to be a matter of time for that Flying Deuce, that Miller Genuine Draft Ford's coming forward. And as you said that, Todd, he's up to 10th, and he's charging. He's racing along now. Dennis Chambers for 9th. They're side by side off turn 11.
Yeah, off turn 11 down the front straightaway. The front straightaway with Tom Salvain. He's going to be able to break him, I believe, outbreak Dennis Chambers. Chambers not going to challenge him very much here. He's going to take over that 9th spot is Tom Salvain. And Tom Salvain has disappeared. Looks like aliens are striking here in western New York, Phil.
Alien abduction already, Todd. I don't know what you guys in New York are thinking up here, guys, but unfortunately, it looks like Tom's had some connection issues. We'll hopefully get him back on the racetrack because he's certainly got a fast piece. But we update back toward the front of the field. It is still the 92 of Martin Karch with the race lead. The 31 of Derek Justice, Todd, he just picked up his 6th pole of the year coming in tonight as he put this thing on the front row. He's made his way around Blake McCandless. He's running 2nd. They're going to be now racing for the race lead as they head down toward the short chute.
And they finally let Tom Salvain back into the race here in that number 2 machine. Tough break for Tom Salvain. As you were talking, Phil, these guys were racing up here for the lead, or for that 2nd position was the 31 of Derek Justice and McCandless in that number 02 machine. Justice now coming off of turn number 11 down the front straightaway here in that number 31 Baskin Robbins sponsor machine. He's trying to track down Martin Karch, the high side hustler at number 92. He's led all the laps thus so far, but it looks like Derek Justice starting to reel in Martin Karch, Phil.
Yeah, Derek, at number 31, Baskin Robbins Ford. He's a 6-time winner this season. Can you believe it? 6 times the victory lane in 18 starts. So that number 31, of course, the defending champion of this Premiere Cup Series. Anytime that 31 rolls into the pit area, you know he's here. He's usually toward the front of these things, and certainly once again right there on the podium spot. But a big heads up here, Todd. You look at that car in 3rd, that Blake McCandless number 02. Blake's only started 4 times in the Premiere Cup Series this season. He's having a great run there in that 3rd spot, and he is all over those top 2 guys as they head toward turn 10.
Yeah, Blake having a good run in that 02 machine. He is running in that 3rd position, like you said, Phil. These guys are trying to go down through this corner. It looks like Martin Karch there. They're going to give up a little bit of ground to the 31 of Derek Justice. Justice down on the bottom side, off of turn 11, down the front straightaway. This is going to be one of those breaking points. Is the 31 of Derek Justice really going to run it in there? Here comes McClellan. It's almost 3 wide here, down into corner number 1, Phil. This is the 90 here, and Blake down on the bottom here, 3 wide here through the corner.
3 wide through that tough right-hander known as turn 1 as they shoot up toward the S's there. Turn 2, 3, and 4. You get through the right-hander on the brakes, have to shift over. Martin got his job kicked out of line there, the 92 did. Blake McCandless making a bonsai move 3 wide. The benefactor of that is Derek Justice and that number 31 now, Todd. But here comes Blake. He is now going to look for the race lead as they hit turn 5 there through the inner loop.
Yeah, he's starting to look for the lead, but looks like Justice got through that inner loop pretty good here through turn 5 and through turn 6 here. Going to come down into the toe in turn 7, then they're going to go down this little boot section here, Phil. It's still Derek Justice in the lead. Blake is running in that 2nd position. 3rd is still Martin Karch, but here comes Karch down to the bottom side. He is challenging for that 2nd position. Dirt tracking it through the corner there. Is it number 92 machine as they go around lap traffic, the 512 machine. That's Johnston in that number 512. They're going to put him 1 lap down in the rears. Tom Salvain going to be able to pick up another position. And that number 2 is he went 1 lap down.
Yeah, Tom Salvain is right there, I believe, racing around, but the race leaders are currently down in turns number 1 and in turn 1 there. He's currently, Todd, 2 laps in the rear. Tom Sylvain, 20th position, so he's certainly going to have his work cut out for him. And as we said here earlier, no caution flags. There's going to be no benefactor of lucky dogs. You know, Tom Sylvain's not going to be able to race his way back to the lead lap. And not sure, Todd, but I think I just seen smoke from a 2-car because I think he's having issues there once again.
I'm not sure what happened there, Phil. I'm not sure where the smoke coming from. I think it's coming from the 19 of Jeffrey Goodpaster. Goodpaster motor has expired aboard that number 19 machine. Looks like he had a little rear end damage there as he's sitting on the track in that number 19 machine.
And Rich Patton, you know, I know you're probably going to try to take a look at this afterward, but I want to bring you into this conversation here. Is I know how much of a fan of the road courses you are. You see a guy like Jeffrey there just having something go wrong, maybe missing a shift or whatever. You know, just tell our viewers, how hard is it to be at a place like a Watkins Glen where you really got to be technical with on your braking, on your shift points. You got to do the best you possibly can to keep that motor underneath you all night long.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And we just now witnessed there Jim Black also blown motor. These guys have to find their rhythm, whether it's shifting, braking, turning, you have it. This entire track is based off a rhythm. And it makes it a little tougher when you get cars right around you, directly in front of you, directly behind you, because then you're relying on their abilities to brake and shift and so forth. So it's really important. If you're not paying attention, you know, going up through the gears and you start over-revving that motor way too much early on in this event, you're going to start popping stuff and things are going to break. So we've seen it already tonight now. We've got 2 cars with blown motors out, or blown equipment, you might call them. Not sure what they popped in their cars, but it's very important. You've got to find your rhythm. And like you mentioned before, these guys are shifting down, shifting up, getting into these corners, getting out of these corners. It's a different task than what we're used to with the ovals. So again, we're going to see who can drive on this track tonight.
Yeah, and one guy out there, Todd, you know, we've talked for multiple weeks now about this Path to Premier Scramble that's going to come up here in a couple of weeks. That's going to crown the Premier Cup Series champion in 2016. One guy coming in tonight was the top of those 3 guys that are non-winners here in 2016, currently 3rd in the overall standings, that being Mr. Ryan Johnson with 19 starts. Certainly not a fan of these road courses here at Watkins Glen, Todd. Ryan having just an awful night here, currently 4 laps down, 8 laps in the event. He's 21st on the grid. I'm certainly sure Ryan Johnson, Todd, certainly has to be frustrated. He's been having a terrific season, and Watkins Glen seems to be just eating up that 59 car tonight.
If he's a lot like me, Phil, road courses, you start getting to them, and it just, you know, it's survival. And you know it just as well as I do. A lot of these guys don't like some of these road courses, but they have to. They're trying to stay in these points, and that's important to them to try to stay in the points, especially when Ryan Johnson does not have a win this season to get into that scramble. He's got to get one of them positions, but it's just going to be a little bit different as Ryan Johnson trying to just motor around, soldier around. He's going to pick up some positions there, Phil, after some of these guys drop out. So it's going to be important to get as many points as they can. As now Derek Justice coming around here, turn number 11. We're getting ready to go picture-in-picture with the number 31 of Derek Justice here around the Watkins Glen International Speedway as we come down, or in-car. We're actually going to go in-car with that 31 here around Watkins Glen.
Yeah, you see that as he comes down toward turn 1, hard on the brakes, down to first gear, trying to get up through the gearbox there. Derek has absolutely got it on the money there, up through. Now you're going to shift up toward 3rd gear, up through the S's as you accelerate through this first one, turn 2. Now hard on the gas, up turn 3, grab 4th gear, up through the hill, out of turn 4. Now you're going to enter the short chute. You get over excess of 160 miles per hour down here. You're going to get down here, it's going to narrow up hard on the brakes, all the way down towards 2nd gear, make the right-hand turn through the inner loop there as you see Derek do it absolutely on the money. Down to the right-hander now toward turn 9, trying to negotiate the turn. He's got lap traffic. That's Tom Sylvain up ahead. He'll make that pass into turn 9. Down through the short chute, the backstretch as they call it here at Watkins Glen. Get about 150 mile per hour full speed in 4th gear. Down hard on the brakes to the left-hander of turn 10, 2nd gear. Probably carry about 100 miles per hour through there. That left-hand turn now up toward turn 11, the last turn. Get down to about 2nd gear. Let it float hard on the gas pedal, Todd. A full lap around Watkins Glen. Derek Justice making it look easy. I know you and I both, you know, we can get around this place, but certainly not the speeds at least top 3 or 4 guys are going. Just impressive to see how these guys can get on and off the gas, all the shifting points. And these guys just never seem to lose traction. It's pretty impressive how fast these guys get around here.
you're saying, Phil, top 3 or 4 positions we can't get around. I'm almost willing to venture probably top 15 positions we can't get around as good as they can around this track. But it's interesting to see. Maybe we can learn some things here tonight, Phil. Maybe we can get better just by following Derek Justice and some of these other drivers. Sometimes it pays to watch these guys go around this track.
No, it certainly does. And I'm just looking around the speedway, Todd, just trying to find battles. There was a good battle here about a lap or two ago between Robert Balkum and Carson Krenz. Not sure if Carson got the tires warm or got that a little upset, but that let Robert squeak by into the 5th spot. The 121 of Steve Looney, he's back to 6th. It looks like he's at a spirited battle going on back there. Todd Looney, Jerry Walters, he's right there. Also Jack Truan, Carson Krenz. That's a 4-car battle for about the 6th spot, Todd. They're up near turn 9 down through the hard right-hander.
Yeah, Todd Truan down on the bottom side with that number 90 machine. He's trying to get around. I believe that is Jerry Walters right there in front of him. Actually, Steve Looney and Jerry Walters right there in front of them. So it's a pretty good battle right there. Those guys are pretty close to each other. One little mess up by one of these drivers, Phil, and one of them is going to get around one another here as we're coming down into another turn here. It looks like turn 11. Looks like Todd Truan going to get around the 121 of Steve Looney down there through turn 11 down the front straightaway as they enter the 90.
Yeah, that turn 1 there, that 90-degree corner, great run for Jack Truan there. That number 90 car, new number for him, new paint scheme. That thing is just absolutely awesome. That Wounded Warrior Project 4, number 90, having a great run. He's up to the 7th position. And pretty cool, Todd, is we're just about 1/3 the way home here, 11 laps of 36 in. We're going to be 1/3 by next time around. Just seeing those 4 cars battling for 6th position on back, all within about a couple of car lengths. Something we don't, certainly in this community don't see an awful lot of. This is some tremendous racing about 1/3 in, and just because it just shows you how great these guys in the Premiere Cup Series are this year in 2016. There's some phenomenal racing all over this Watkins Glen International Raceway right now.
Yeah, fantastic racing. As now I see the 028 of Monte Keller. As I'm flipping through the field, Monte Keller having a little bit of difficulty in that 028 machine. He lost control of his machine there over there in I believe that was corner number 1, that 90-degree corner, Phil. Monte Keller got all kinds out of shape there. Now he's back up to speed and going. He was right around the 59 of Ryan Johnson. But we're just sitting here. It looks like McCandless is starting to catch Derek Justice in that 31 machine. As it looks like we have another blown motor on the speedway.
I'm not sure where that smoke's coming from. I'm going to let Rich try to find that. Maybe, give a picture if he can of it and show us what happened there. I think that was Ryan Johnson. He's just been having just a woeful night there, Todd. And the motor letting go aboard the 59. I'm sure Ryan Johnson, he's really dejected to be out of this thing. But, as Ryan would tell you, he's in here trying to run for points tonight and certainly not having a good night of it here at Watkins Glen. Another guy not having a good night, Todd. I'm out there looking at the 110 of Dennis Chambers. Looks like he's had a little bit of contact out there. The rear end of that car looks to be all jacked up as he goes up through the S's here through turns number 2, 3, and 4 as he's going up the hill, getting through a rate of speed. And Rich Patton, I'm not sure if you have a look at what that rear end of that 110 of Dennis Chambers looks like, but I can't imagine that thing's in the corner too well here through these high-speed corners with that rear end damage.
Yeah, most definitely. And with them running realistic damage tonight, it's going to be important, like we mentioned earlier, about these guys keeping their cars clean. And if they can't do it, it's definitely going to affect them. We've already seen quite a few cars dropping out because of blown motors. Could have been missed shifts, what not have you, but it's definitely taken a toll. I believe the count's up to 4 blown motors now already out of this 21-car field. So the field is dwindling down, and I think at the end we're going to see the guys who can actually hang in there and get this job done tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that. As we look back toward the front of the field to update, it is Derek Justice with the race lead, but a ferocious battle going on there, Todd. Now up through turn number 9 as they head down the backstretch toward the left-hander of turn 10. Blake McCandless has been all over the back bumper of the 31. A tremendous battle for the lead, Todd, as they head toward turn 10.
Yeah, I'm down here on pit road just following Ryan Johnson, Phil, as you were covering that tremendous. Looks like they're trying to repair the 59 machine down on pit road. They have not called it quits there. Maybe just an oil liner or an oil cooler loose there on that 59 machine. As I'm trying to scurry back up here to this battle, as you're talking about Blake, he was right there on the rear bumper of the 31 of Derek Justice. They're about .349 between one another. Justice does mess up there coming down through corner number 1 there, the 90, as he comes up through the S's. And now He is starting to catch the number 31 of Derek Justice up through these S's here, Phil. And then we're going to go down the back straightaway, and we're going to enter the inner loop here. And Derek Justice, Blake is going to have to come down and actually just have to. He's trying to outbrake him, Phil. Is Blake? He's trying to be able to catch here. He's caught Derek Justice, but now you're going to have to be able to outbrake him.
Yeah, and it's certainly a great race all over these twists and turns of Watkins Glen. That 0-2 Blake McCandless all over Derek Justice's back bumper as they now head down the back stretch toward turn number 10. It's a tremendous battle there. Third place, Martin Karch in 92. He's fallen 3.5 seconds in the rears of these guys. And Todd, I'm wondering if this is not any kind of strategy from the number 92. We've talked about the main event tonight, 36 laps around Watkins Glen. The pit window tonight was about 16 to 18 laps, and we've noticed here, Todd, with this Common Core math nowadays, we certainly cannot do math, but 18 times 2, I believe, is still 36, Todd, if I'm not right. If these guys can stretch the fuel window from here, do you think maybe, just maybe, can some of these guys stretch it on one stop? Do you think that's what a guy like Martin out there is doing? Because he's now rolled off the 3.5 seconds off the pace of these front two.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's maybe what Martin's doing, trying to stretch the field. He's played the field-saving game here around the Watkins Glen International Speedway. He might be doing that again. Ryan Johnson returning to the fray, still heavily smoking around this Watkins Glen Speedway, but it's interesting to see what's happening, Phil, because Ryan Johnson's still smoking. He's still on the track, and he's still trying to chug along. Another incident behind the wall, the 210 machine, the 210 of Ed Stancliffe. Out of this race, he's behind the wall with gearbox issues, Phil. So gearbox, blowing motors, all kinds of issues going on out here on the speedway.
Yeah, I know Rich has been down there in the booth. He's been just driving along there following with the number 59 of Ryan Johnson. Rich, that's certainly a situation out of that camp. He's been out there smoking all over the speedway. I'm not sure how long the officials are going to allow them out there. Maybe some mosquitoes, or I'm not sure exactly what that is. But looking toward pit road, Blake McCandless, Todd, he's pulled the 0-2 onto pit road out of this runner-up position. Can he make it on one stop from here? We're now going to complete lap 16. I can't imagine these guys are going to be able to stretch it on just one stop.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Martin Karch down on pit road, and like we said, Blake is on pit road. Right now, left side tires going on Blake's machine. Left side tires, as it's stepped up there. They're going to go around. Looks like they're looking at the right side. Yep, they're going to put right side tires also on that as they're up in the air, completing that service of the 0-2 machine. Looks like Martin Karch also getting 4 tires, I believe, Phil?
Yep, 4 tires for the 92. Martin Karch, his work is down and away. And we look toward pit road here, not seeing if anybody else might have come down for services. Up and down. Robert Baucom's also in. It's going to be 4 tires on the number 18. Looks like Jerry Walters at 28. He's going to be on pit road. Going to looks like left side tires in the air on that number 28 Dodge Charger. Left sides are up, and they said, we're here at Watkins Glen. It's completely opposite of anything we're used to. They start on the left sides. They finish off on the right sides near the wall. 4 tires work down for Baucom. 4 tires down for Jerry Walters. Todd, they're down and away in this end of pit road.
Yeah, definitely down and away. Looks like Ryan Johnson may be out of this event now. I'm not 100% positive, but it looks like also aboard this camp, as you're talking pit stops, Phil, the 103 has blown 4th gear. Carson Crittens no longer has a 4th gear either.
Looking toward pit road, it looks like our leader there, Derek Justice, has found his way to pit road. Now working lap number 17. Let's see what the Baskin-Robbins crew does here. Is 4 tires. They're over onto the right sides, waiting for that to go down. Waiting on the fuel. He's revving the engine. 31, Derek Justice, Todd. He's down and away.
Just looking around here, I think I'm looking at it looks like Ken Hansen coming down pit road. Todd Truin coming down pit road in that number 90 machine, looking for Todd Truin down on pit road to get service. I believe the call is going to be 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on that number 90 machine as he's rolling. He rolls to complete stop here, and we're looking at him right now. Left side tires going on the number 90 machine as they're working on that. Jack drops are going over to the right side. Right side tires going on the number 90. So 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, Phil, and Sunoco Racing Field, and Todd Truin down and away.
Yeah, also 4 tires on that Coors Ford. That Ken Hansen, number 109. He's had a great season so far, coming in tonight 6th in the point standings. We were to end today, he would make that scramble. He would transfer in. Work done on the 109 Ford. He's going to rejoin the freight here, Todd, halfway next time around.
halfway home next time around here. Just watching some of these guys go around here and see what's going on. It looks like Bobby Farrell coming down pit road. Bill Martino's on pit road right now. Those guys getting service to their machine. We said Ryan Johnson was out of the event. Ryan Johnson's still out there in that number 59 machine, chugging along in the 59. So he's out there collecting laps, still smoking heavily in that 59 machine.
He certainly is. And one guy who's really hot and heavy tonight, that number 22 of Gary Piccolo, that Red Line Motorsports Chevrolet. He's now onto the pit sign, left side tires in the air. He pitted out of the race lead. And Todd, I'm looking at the scoreboard here. 18 of 36 laps. Can Gary Piccolo and him guys like Bill Martino, those guys pitting right at the halfway marker. If smart money's the case, those guys may be able to make this thing on this one pit stop. That may be the gamble that pays off at Gary Piccolo.
Yeah, indeed it may, because some of these guys that are pitted early, I don't think they're going to be able to make it. They might be able to save enough fuel to go the distance. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, they're going to have to let off, and that's going to leave the door wide open for guys like Gary Piccolo, who probably don't have to worry about fuel here, as he's about at this halfway marker coming down through here. So I believe Gary Piccolo, if I have to go out on a limb, can make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm going to think so. He can, too, but versus your race leaders now, the 31 of Derek Justice, he's going to maintain the race lead through this cycle. I'm not sure in him, Blake McCandless, Martin Karch, who are currently your top three. I don't think those guys are going to be able to make it, Todd. I think it's going to be way too much fuel to save maybe a lap or two. That's going to be awfully tough to do at a place like Watkins Glen when you're on and off the gas, all the shifting, all the braking. I mean, is there anything you could do at a place like this to save fuel and maybe save a lap or two for these guys with the race lead to maybe conserve enough to make it on that one stop?
They're able to clutch coming down into the corners. Rich would probably be more of a guy. To me, he seems like he's more of a road course veteran than what yourself or what I am, Phil. Maybe Rich, is there a way to save fuel around these road courses?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you can start dragging or releasing the gas a lot earlier before your corners, getting into the corners a little bit sooner, letting everything drag a little bit longer and kind of cruise through especially the bus stop. If you just kind of idle through there, you might say, at their constant speed instead of getting on it and try to fight them corners, you're probably going to get through the bus stop a lot smoother in the long run. So ultimately, you're going to save a little bit of fuel there as well. So yeah, definitely, if they're to start lifting a little bit earlier, getting these corners, not having to brake quite as hard, I think they're going to be able to do all right.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that the rest of the night. Is now working lap number 20. We've passed the halfway marker, 16 laps to go. It's a fast one here at Watkins Glen tonight. At the norm here at TDR Racing on the road courses, no caution flags. So these races go green to checker. It's up to these guys on the racetrack to take care of their stuff. And we're working lap number 20, Todd. And I give you a trivia question here. 20 laps in. Can you tell me what 20 laps is better than this week here at Watkins Glen? I think I've got him stumped. Todd, 20 laps. I've raced at Watkins Glen 3 times in the last week. I've run a combined 17 laps here. So these guys out there at 20 laps, they're having a better run than I think you or I have had here all week at Watkins Glen, as I know we've run multiple races here as well.
Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit behind you. I think I have like 14 laps completed. That's about all I have. So, and one of those races, Phil, was because you got to visit one of those nice little water barrels there at the end of pit road.
I certainly did. Off the bumper of one, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton getting loose off turn 11. And getting in, our Team Crush machines, he gets into the side of mine, he bounces off the wall, he sends me straight to the pit wall, and just some of the experts of why Todd and I sit up here in the booth, and why an expert like Rich Patton would be out in the broadcast, or would not be out on the racetrack tonight on a night like this, where he's just so good at one of these road courses. But Todd, we look out on the racetrack, Derek Justice been able to extend that lead now 1.8 seconds over Blake McCandless. Could Blake be saving fuel, or is Derek just that much faster? What do you think is going on out there?
Well, Blake, I don't think is saving any fuel. I think he's just trying to catch the 31 of Derek Justice. Blake McCandless having a pretty good run here, and I'm going to look through here, and we're going to look and see what who's running fast laps. Okay, fast lap of the race so far is I'm looking up through here, Phil, and this is just of the race of the total 21 laps. Actually, it was Tom Salvain, 1 minute 10.426. And then 1 minute 1:10.590. Blake McCandless is the second quickest, fastest lap on the speedway. And then it was Derek Justice with a 1:10.692, and then Martin Karch with a 1:10.902, and then Gary Piccolo with a 1:11.609 is somebody off the track. I believe, I'm trying to figure out who that is. It looks to be the 121 maybe. No, it was the number 90, Todd Truan. Todd Truan around up there in turn 1. Phil, explain how tricky that is getting down into that 90 if you don't hit your brakes just right and you come off that track.
Oh, well, Todd, well, I'm sure everybody out there watching who knows anything about racing at Watkins Glen is when you come, turn number 1 is definitely the place on the racetrack where you're absolutely going the fastest. You come off turn 11, you get all the way up to 4th gear, and you let that thing rev out over 160 miles per hour. But the trick is now getting through turn 1, you got to be hard on the brakes. I mean, all the way down to about 45, 50 miles per hour, all the way down. I would go all the way down to 1st gear if I was out there and try to do all I can. But it's so tricky to get on the brakes is you could easily do something as they call wheel hopping in road course circles there. You get on the brakes and you shift too soon, you may bounce the back end. You get that thing all sorts of light. And Rich Patton, I know you're an expert when it comes to things like that. That wheel hopping, that's something that's certainly easy to do at Watkins Glen. And just tell our guys out there, because, Todd and I have documented, we certainly don't not get around these road courses nearly as well as you do. How easy is it as in a place like Watkins Glen to maybe wheel hop that thing and allow that thing to get off underneath you?
Oh, it's very simple. And, even when I do run this track, that turn number 1 is my scariest turn. It's the one I dread the most because, as you mentioned, you're coming down the front stretch. You're getting the most speed out of the car on the track at that point. And getting into that corner, watching there live, we almost saw Blake get into a lap-down car. Amazing stuff there. As you see, he hops them curbs as he's going through the bus stop area. But back to what we were talking about on that one corner, like I said, it's my scariest corner. You're approaching that corner at your highest speed of the entire track, and you've got to get on the brakes the hardest. Hope that you don't lock your brakes up. Hope that you don't get that thing upset and get it sideways on you. And then, of course, once you get into the corner, it's hammer back down hard on it, because getting up through the S's is where you're building up all your speed to get on that, straight away towards the bus stop. So it's definitely one of the toughest corners on this track.
Yeah, it's probably one of the toughest turns in all the sport, what the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series would go to all year long. And, Todd, looking out on the racetrack now, we're 2/3 the way home, 24 of 36 up on the board here. DRTV at the Glen tonight for the Premiere Cup Series, 22nd race of the Premiere Cup Series season, Todd. 6-time winner on the season. Derek Justice currently pacing our field. He's got about 2 seconds on Blake McCandless. He's certainly laying waste to the field. Is that number 31, Todd? But now the big question is fuel mileage. Can any of those guys amongst them top 3, can they save enough to make it from here?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think they can, Phil. It's going to be questionable. I've been watching Gary Piccolo in that 22 machine. He's been saving fuel, and he pitted on lap 18 of 36. So he's been saving fuel.
Todd, developing situation here for the runner-up spot, number 02 of Blake McCandless. He came off that inner loop toward turn number 8, or turn 9 rather, through the right-hander, got on the gas. Back end lost traction. Around went the 02. Got that thing correctly in the right direction, but lost valuable time to our race leader, Todd. Now off of turn 11, the 02 Blake McCandless might have injured the tires because he's found his way now to pit road.
Yeah, tough break for Blake McCandless. As now he's got to come down pit road. And I don't think he could have made it on fuel anyway, Phil. So now he's going to have to come down pit road and get some tires. So maybe take a little bit of tires, maybe not. Maybe he's just going to play a little bit of strategy game, get the rest of that fuel that he needs, and then get right back out there on the track. But he had to hurt his tires in that.
I would certainly think so. You had to have heard him as he'll come to pit road there. It's obviously going to be 4 tires. He probably flat spotted him real good. But now we look toward the front of the field, Todd. A 10-second advantage for race leader Derek Justice. 10 seconds, Todd. Just about 10.5 laps left to go. How much do you think Derek is thinking about fuel mileage right now? How much do you think with this advantage of a lead he's got? I mean, 10 seconds here at Watkins Glen, it's an eternity. These guys' fastest laps, these guys getting around at just under 1 minute and 11 seconds. How much do you think Derek's thinking about that right now, easing on and off these gas and getting up through the gears and trying to save all the fuel he can? Because with a margin like that, Todd, if you're that close, you may make a run at it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to save 2 or 3 laps in that number 31 machine. We'll have to just wait and see. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has a replay on what happened to Blake there.
Yeah, we're going to do a split screen on you today. We're going to keep our eyes on that white car right behind the yellow, and that's going to be the 02 of McCandless. We're going to watch him go through the bus stops real quick in full speed. Amazing how he gets up on 2 wheels. He's doing this almost every lap, clipping them corners like most drivers do. But the important thing is right here, we're going to slow this down a little bit. He gets the rear end out from under him as he's going in here. We're going to have to switch camera angles on you so you can see what's going on up here. He's going to go ahead and get the rear end out from under him, going through the corner, and the next thing you know, he can't save it. It's going to go around on him right there. You see it go around. He's completely sideways, going to upset his car. Next thing you know, he's up in the pavement off the track. He didn't hit anything. He's able to get it straightened out and to get back on the track, but lost a lot of ground to that event. And now I'm hearing on the radio he's got even worse damage, guys. Back up to you.
Yeah, Todd, it looks like the 02 Blake McCandless up in smoke. Is that number 02? Engine expiring. I don't know if we missed a gear or what happened there, Todd, but unfortunately for Blake McCandless, he was a runner-up there. He was having a great run. He's now behind the wall. He's out of this event.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for Blake McCandless. He's going to join the laundry list of guys who have had engine problems and gearbox problems here towards the end of this. This is actually a good time for the full field rundown here. We're getting ready to complete lap number 28 of 36. We did have Martin Karch come down pit road. He did get fuel, but Derek Justice is your current race leader. I believe we're going to see Justice come down pit road here momentarily. In that number 31 machine, the 92 of Martin Karch running second after that pit stop still, but he's 23 seconds behind, and he's coming back down pit road. Phil, maybe he was nailed with a speeding penalty in that number 92 machine, so he's going to give up precious time there on the speedway. Gary Piccolo is third. Fourth is the number 90 of Todd Truin. The fifth, Ken Hansen. Sixth, the 28 of Jerry Walters. Seventh is Carson Krins. Eighth is the 121 of Steve Looney. Ninth, the 110 of Dennis Chambers. Bill Martino is 10th in that number 98 machine. Blake McCandless, who is actually going to keep falling down through here. He's going to be actually finishing up in the 16th position. We got Bobby Farrell, who's 11th. 13th, John Palmer. Robert Balcom, wow, Robert Balcom 2 laps down. That's not characteristic of Robert Balcom in that number 18 machine. He is 13th. 14th is Monte Keller. 15th, the number 2 of Tom Salvain. Out of this event is the number 210 of Ed Stancliffe in 17th. 18th is the 512 of Johnston. 19th, the 59 of Ryan Johnson. 20th is the 86 of Jim Black. And rounding out your 21-car field was the number 19 of Jeffrey Goodpaster.
Yeah, that's your full field rundown sponsored by the DRL Network. Find us at drlnetwork.com. A full list of races coming up here through the month of August. We're going to be incredibly busy here as we look out on the speedway. 6-time winner this season, Derek Justice, your 2015 DRTV Premiere Cup Series champion. He is out front. He's got just about 1 full minute, Todd, almost 1 full lap on the field. Out there saving fuel is the number 31. He's a 6-time winner here, Todd. He's second in points. He's currently locked his way into the scramble here. I can't imagine in any circumstances that he falls out of the top 20. So you're certain to see a guy like Derek as part of the scramble here in about 6 races from now. You know, but if you got to be him, you certainly got to be thinking about maybe trying to stretch it out all the way from here. Is a developing situation, Todd, for the number 90 of Jack Truin. He was having a great run in the 4th position. Looks like issues on the racetrack. He may be out of this event.
Yep, the number 90 of Jack Truin, Todd Truin, and that number 90 out of this event after driving, he was in that 4th position and now out of this event. Tough break for the number 90 of Todd Truin. Now Gary Piccolo 1 lap down. There's only 2 cars left on the lead lap, Phil, and that's Martin Karch at 1 second behind the number 31 of Derek Justice. So there's only 2 cars left on this lead lap. The rest of everybody's a lap down. But you've got to wonder, Derek Justice, when is he going to come in? He's got to come in that 31. I don't fathom him making it the rest of the way.
I can't imagine so either. We know Derek's cagey. If there's a guy out there that can save fuel, save equipment, it is certainly AI 110% there. That number 31 of Derek Justice. He's going to motor on past pit road. He's going to stay on the speedway. Now 30 of 36 laps up on the scoreboard. We've talked about it, Todd. that path to Premier Scramble is coming up here in just a couple of weeks here. We get through race number 30 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is the cutoff for our scramble, the way we're going to crown our champion here for the Premier Cup Series in 2016. The scramble criteria, real simple, guys. Race winners that finish inside the top 20 in the point standings through that 30th race at Charlotte, those guys automatically qualify into the scramble, as do the top 3 guys that finish up in the point standings after 30 races that have not won a race this season. So it's not an arbitrary number whatsoever. We may see as many as 17, 18 guys make the scramble when we get through Charlotte here in a couple of weeks. Those guys are going to be into an elimination-style championship scramble to crown the champion in 2016. And the way we're going to do it is we get to places like Kansas, like Talladega, like Martinsville. Every week, every race a part of the scramble, we're going to eliminate guys out of that scramble each and every week. The fastest finishers, the guys that finish at the top of the standings, they're going to advance on. Those slowest guys, the guys that may have a hiccup, one bad finish, that is going to end your dreams of winning this Premier Cup scramble here, this championship in 2016. It's going to be a lot to pay attention to here, Todd, and I cannot wait to see where that's going to take us here. We got some tremendous racing ahead here to come in this series.
Yeah, definitely got some tremendous racing coming ahead here in this series. We're going to have to see what's happening. Still watching this 31. I've been watching to see when he's going to come in, Phil. He's got to be coming in that 31 machine. He pitted on lap 17, so I don't foresee him actually being able to stretch it that far. He has not let off the gas. I have not seen him conserve any type of fuel here as he's going full speed through most of these corners, Phil. It's just interesting to see what Derek Justice is doing out there, and he's laying waste to this field.
He's certainly laying waste to the field, as you said, and he's about to catch up to Martin Karch there. He may lap the entire field before he comes to pit road. And Martin there through turn number 10 now toward the right-hander in turn 11. He missed his mark a little bit. That's going to allow Derek to close on him even more. As off 11, Derek, once again, he'll scream past pit road. Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, can Derek Justice possibly make it off field from here? Can he save enough to make it pitting on 17 laps where he did? That's a long way to go. That's 19 laps at Watkins Glen. He's a gambling man. I know you are as well. Can he make it and win this race from here?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard through the radio for any confirmation or what have you, but I am thinking he's right at the outside window that we originally thought we were going to be 17 to 19 laps on fuel. So I think he's smart enough to know, to lift a little bit earlier and save a little bit. I'm willing to bet that he's probably going to be all right. I think he's actually going to catch Martin Karch here before this thing is over.
Yeah, he might be able to catch Martin Karch. He's coming up on Martin pretty quick, and if Derek has saved enough fuel to make it through a whole distance, we're going to have to see what's going to happen here with Martin Karch as Justice is catching him at a pretty good clip here, and it's interesting to see if Derek's going to be able to put him a lap down and actually lap the whole field here at the Watkins Glen Speedway, International Speedway. As now here comes Derek Justice down to pit road. Justice has to come down pit road. That's out of the question now. He's not going to be able to lap the 92 of Martin Karch. So here comes Justice. Hopefully he made it down at the line here. Did not get any speeding penalties in that 31 machine. He's going to have to really, really watch his speed coming down through here, especially down through this really slanted pit road. You can get caught speeding here really, really easy in that 31 machine, but he pulls into the last pit box here. I believe it's just going to be fuel only. I don't see him taking any tires aboard that number 31 machine, so he's going to be able to come out here in that 31 machine, I believe, with the lead here, and still a pretty sizable lead over the 92 of Martin Karch.
Yeah, Martin Karch is just now entering the right-hander off there through the inner loop and now coming off of turn number 9. He's through the right-hander. He's going down the back straightaway toward the left-hander of turn 10. And as you said, Todd, Derek Justice, he's down out on and off of pit road. Gas only. He's accelerating up now through the little short chute there toward the inner loop. He's going to have about a 3 or 4 turn advantage. Tremendous pit work there by Derek Justice, Todd, and looks like he may have a strategy that's going to maybe propel him to victory lane here tonight. Don't want to put the jinx on him too soon here. 33 of 36 laps up on the board, so a lot of racing left to go, and he's still got about 33 more left turns to make.
And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Hopefully, he did not get any speeding penalties. I didn't see that he was going to come down on pit road in that 31 machine. I believe he did get down to the speed here with that number 31 machine. So he's going to be able to hold on to this lead, but anything can happen. Lap traffic could get involved. He could end up in the wall. He could end up upside down. It's not over till it's over, Phil.
It's certainly not over till it's over. He has lapped all the traffic he may see for a little while. Derek Justice out in clean air. Last time by, Todd. This is completely impressive. It was 59 seconds. I want to see where it scores out to when Martin comes back across the start-finish line. Martin having a tremendous run here tonight. Was really excited to come to Watkins Glen. He's now entering turn number 10 through the left-hander. I want to see what the interval at the line is here as he accelerates off of 10, now through the right-hander here in turn 11 as he comes up through the gearbox here, up to second, third, up to fourth gear here as they rev out the RPMs at the front stretch at the Watkins Glen International Raceway here. Martin at the line. He'll cut the interval down 43 seconds, Todd. A tremendous showing here tonight for Derek Justice. He is laying waste to the field as he's looking to collect win number 7 on the season, and that's just incredible.
Yeah, indeed, it's an incredible feat here in that 31 machine, especially with the caliber of drivers that are here in this DRTV Premiere Cup Series. This is the best of the best around the NASCAR 2003 community. It's just way off the line there, off of turn 11 there. Looks like he taps the ball just a little bit in that number 31 machine up there. Jumping the rumble strips, say the least, here as he's coming up. It looks like on lap traffic here, I'm trying to catch up. It looks like the 110 of Dennis Chambers. He's going to try to put him down 2 laps to the rears, but Dennis Chambers having a good run there inside the top 10. He's 9th, Phil.
Yeah, he's having a great run as Dennis Chambers there. He's got damage all over the rear of that number 110, but he's keeping it pointed in the right direction, making laps, going to soldier out there and hope to pick up a solid top 10 finish tonight. And just looking up and down the standings, Todd, one guy who's really impressed me tonight, albeit a lap down, is, Derek is just laid waste now with 3 drivers left on a lead lap. But I'm looking at the guy running in the 5th spot. That 121 of Steve Looney. He was a race winner just a couple of weeks ago in the Premiere Cup Series. Comes into this evening 21st in the point standings. 2 points behind Kelly Horner on the outside looking into the scramble. Unfortunately, Kelly not here tonight, and Steve having a great run there in the 5th position, Todd. He may leapfrog Kelly. He may find his way locked into the scramble. It's one of the best things about this thing. He's won a race here late in the season. He may race his way to the top 20, and just one of the cool things about this scramble, Todd, is white flag now in the air. Steve Looney having a great run there in that number 121 in the top 5.
Yeah, Steve Looney having a good run. Martin Karch, Gary Piccolo, those guys. Ken Hansen, another good run for the 109 of Ken Hansen. He's had a pretty bad go of it as of late in that 109 machine, but he's going pretty good. As Derek Justice looks like he's going to be able to take home this win pretty handily aboard that number 31 machine as he's coming down through. I believe this is. He's coming down into the inner loop here in the 31 machine, trying to catch up where I was here. It was following some of these other guys, but Derek Justice now coming down through. He was down through the inner loop, now working his way to turn number 6 and down to 7 here into the toe, and then he's going to go through the boot, the heel, the 9, 10, and 11, and he's going to make his final trip down around here, Phil. In the 31, an impressive night here for Derek Justice.
Yeah, for the last time through turn number 10 through the left-hander. Now he'll accelerate through, down to the brakes, to the right-hander, turn 11, the final turn. Checker flag is in the air under the bridge. Derek Justice, Todd, he's going to be a race winner. He's going to win the DRTV at the Glen, his 7th checkered flag of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be Martin Karch bringing home 2nd here, I believe, but you got to wait 45 seconds almost for the number 92 of Martin Karch here to come by. He's still working his way around the speedway in that number 92 machine. And just to give you a for instance, is now he's coming down through here. I believe he's already went past the inner loop here, but he's coming down through. I believe this is turn 9 and 10 here, and he's going to get ready to come off of 11. And that's just how far behind Martin Karch was of the 31. He's going to be able to bring it home here in that 2nd position as Tom Sylvain trying to fight with him here. Sylvain 5 laps down. But Martin Karch going to finish home 2nd. Gary Piccolo was the last car on the lead lap. And I believe he's going to be able to finish home 3rd in that number 22 machine. But I'm telling you what, Phil, Gary Piccolo having a good run there. He was just right in front of the leader in the midst of going 1 lap down, but Gary had to go around the track one last time here. And hopefully he's going to bring home that 3rd position. 4th would be Ken Hansen. Jerry Walters, I believe, is going to finish going to finish 5th in the number 28 machine, I believe.
Just keeping eye on that race for third there, Todd. Gary Piccolo, he's going to finish up on the last car in the lead lap. I believe he ran out of fuel in turn 7. He has coasted much of this racetrack. Now off turn 11, Gary Piccolo is going to hit the start-finish line, Todd. He'll finish up on the podium in that 3rd spot tonight. Just goes to show you how a guy stretching the fuel out, he even pitted at the halfway mark, Todd, and he just barely had enough. He certainly didn't have it to make through the last lap, but he certainly benefacted there, finishing up in a 3rd spot.
I believe the 22 Gary Piccolo was just pulling our chain here. He's backing up on the speedway. He's saying that he has gas in that number 22 machine. He's backing up.
All right, Todd. Well, there you go. You will see, Gary Piccolo there backing up. These guys, of course, as part of the Premiere Cup Series, top 5 finishers all have to report their car to tech, and what they do is they pull up to the start-finish line. They are going to submit their replays, what their tires look like to all these guys, the admins over here at TDR Racing. You see these guys, running out of fuel. We see Martin Karch out there trying to push Ken Hansen over to tech. That's a pretty interesting there picture, Todd, is we're going to try to screen out our top 3.
Yeah, it's interesting watching Martin Karch push the 109 here, and that's a classy act for the number 92 to do. Pushing Ken Hansen here. It looks like he's going to push him right to the start-finish line here, so that way he can bring it home here at the end of this race.
All right, well, let's see if we can't catch up with our top 3 finishers here, Todd. As we move to the post-race there, Derek Justice took down the checkered flag, the 7th win for Derek here in 2016. Great run for Martin Karch tonight. He's going to finish up in that runner-up spot, and also a tremendous night. Our 3rd-place finisher here, a great point night for our good buddy Gary Piccolo aboard the number 22. Gary, man, put that thing on the podium here tonight. I'm sure you're going to be ecstatic with that at a place like Darlington. Good job, buddy.
Place like Darlington.
Watkins Glen, rather. Sorry, I already got next week on the brain.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty stoked about it. I barely finished on the lead lap, but I could have ran hard and did the 2 pit stop strategy, which I thought about doing, but first few laps they were pulling away so fast. So I was just trying to be conservative. I said, hell with it. I'm going to try the 1 stop because I don't want to risk anything happening. I need a good points night. Trying to hang on or get into that top 3 that don't have a win just in case, get into the, the dash there, whatever, however you guys call it. And there's only a few races left, so it's unlikely, but I'll take it. It's definitely a good run.
Yes, Gary, a great points night. Trying to race your way into the scramble, as you said. Came in tonight 10th place in the standings. You're chasing Martin there. He's got about 28 markers on you to try to race your way into the scramble. But guys just ahead of him, guys like Ken Hansen, Ryan Johnson, those guys certainly had a bad night. Did exactly what you had to do there. Keep that thing on the course. Keep that thing clean. And as you said, you made it on 1 pit stop there. Did you have enough gas to make it around to the finish? Because it looked to me like you ran out there through the inner loop. Did you have gas in that thing?
Well, when I crossed the line with the checkered out, Derek was right behind me about to lap me, and he crossed it and he was done, but technically I still had another lap, and it was sputtering it all the way around in that final lap. So when I came back around and I crossed it again officially for myself, I had to stop and reverse to, get the tech details done because I wouldn't have made it around again.
Well, Gary, you certainly hats off on a job well done here tonight. Did exactly what you aimed to do. Put this thing up for a good finish, finishing up on the podium. I know we've talked to you a lot here in 2016, but certainly finally getting the monkey off your back here as you've persevered through a struggle of a season here at the Premiere Cup Series. I'm going to give you the microphone one more time, buddy. Give a shout to your friends, your sponsors out there, all your buddies, and everybody that's responsible for getting you out here this evening.
I'd like to thank you guys for putting this on. Being here all year, as bad, like you said, as bad as it's been this year. Not just here, but pretty much every league I've been in, and I've had quite a bit of bad luck. A lot of it's my own doing. I get it. I have to work on that, but a lot of the wrong place, wrong time stuff. So keep it going. Happy to be here with you guys, and happy with what you put on. And shout out to my Red Line teammates, Scott Schroyer and Craig Meyer. I know they couldn't make it tonight, and hope they were watching.
All right, Gary. Well, once again, congratulations on a third-place finish, and I'm sure we'll see you next week here as we're on the airwaves at Darlington. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Gary Piccolo, he's going to finish up in the third spot tonight. I'm sure he's disappointed there, Todd, to finish third, but a great run for him nonetheless. Another guy with a great run here tonight. Maybe a little bit disappointed, Todd, is our buddy Martin there in the number 92. I believe you've caught up with that driver, so over to you.
Yeah, indeed. I've caught up with the high side hustler driver, the number 92, Martin Karch. Martin, bringing home second tonight. I know you're one of those crafty veterans here and crafty shoes at one of these road courses, and it looked like the speeding penalty bug hit you there in one of those pit stops. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I don't think the speeding penalty was that bad, but shortly after our first pit stop, we lost second gear. So I was having to go between third and fourth around the whole track, and that just killed the time. But don't get me wrong, that speeding penalty didn't help.
We weren't sure if you were going to try the one-stop thing, but when you came in there at lap about 16, you came in, and we wasn't sure if you guys were going to be able to stretch the field that long, and we know that just as well as anybody else that you can conserve field just among some of the greatest here in NASCAR 2003. But bringing home a second place finish, Martin, isn't nothing bad, and it's going to help you lengthen and try to get into that scramble. But you want that win, don't you?
Who doesn't want to win?
Well, I would want to win too because there'd be less stress off of me to not be able to have to fight my way into those final 3 points paying positions there to get into that scramble. So you got to get up on that wheel there, Martin.
Well, tell you what, why don't you jump behind the wheel of the 92 one of these nights and see if we can get some of these bugs worked out with the parts that we've been buying from you.
I would take you up on that offer, Martin, but you might not have a car left, and somebody said that there might be a Dodge in one of your haulers or something. I heard they were secretly putting Dodges in one of your haulers, but I'll leave it at that for now. I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours, Martin. Thank whoever you'd like to thank. Anybody that's out there.
I'd just like to thank you guys here at DRTV, TDR, and everybody that made the race enjoyable tonight. Those first 10 laps with myself, Derek, and Blake, that was a blast.
Indeed, it was a great race, bringing home second place here. Again, congratulations, Martin, on a solid second place effort here tonight at the Watkins Glen International Speedway. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has caught up with a now 7-time feature winner here at the DRTV Premiere Cup Series, Derek Justice, aboard that number 31. Rich?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I made my way down here to Victory Lane at Watkins Glen. Derek, one heck of a race, one heck of a showing for you out there. It was very bumper to bumper early on, but you showed your muscle and pulled out. Tell us about how that race went for you today, buddy.
Well, at the beginning of the race, it was a pretty good battle between, about the top 5 there. And first entry, turn 1 on lap 1, I almost blew it. I got on the curb a little too much. I almost lost it. So thankfully, I didn't get run over from behind. But it was a hell of a battle between Blake and Martin Karch there for about 10 laps. And I don't know what happened to Martin there, but Blake, he was able to come catch back up to me, and I'm thinking I got to push a little harder. But other than that, we were staying consistent, hitting our marks every time. That's what you got to do at a road course.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to show the fans early tonight a couple of your, or at least we did an in-car cam with you around an entire lap. And, our buddy up here in the booth, Phil, was going ahead and telling us how you were taking that track and where you were braking, where you were lifting, downshifting, and so forth. And you had a pretty good clean lap. So I was glad we were able to get that out there for the race fans to see what it's truly like to get around this track, because you made it look good. But back to what you just said there a minute ago, we found out later after, or during the interview, Martin Karch seemed to have lost second gear early on or halfway through the race or whatever, and that's why his lap time started dropping back, and he wasn't battling back up there with you and Blake. And then, of course, I'm sure you heard that Blake got a little bit loose in one of the corners, and that spun him around a little bit, so he lost quite a bit of ground there. So that opened the door for you to have free sailing, and then once you got that free air, it just looked like you were gone.
Yeah, on the last pit stop, I wasn't sure if someone was going to try a game and just take fuel only, so I went ahead and took just a half can and no tires, because tires are really slippery on this new surface, so it was a handful at times, but you just got to wheel it and make good lap times.
Well, 10-4, I hear that, buddy. And congratulations once again. Hats off to you. You put on one heck of a show tonight around this road course. We're going to give the floor to you one more time. The mic is all yours. Thank who got you here, and congratulations for the win, Derek.
Once again, I just want to thank you guys first and foremost for putting these shows on whenever you can. Our home league, Boys and Pedals, it's a pretty solid competition there on weekdays. So during weekends, we try to come over here and help other leagues out. And everybody that was watching today on YouTube, and just want to say I just had a birthday, just turned 29, so it was a good birthday present here.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Happy birthday. I almost forgot to throw that in there for you tonight. So there you have it. Your race winner today, Derek Justice, recently celebrating his 29th birthday. Congratulations to him and his crew. We'll let him get back to partying with his crew and family and all of his friends. And guys, back up in the booth, this is one heck of a race we watched today here live on DRTV.
Yeah, it certainly was here, Todd. The first trip we make out on a road course on DRTV, and you know, we think about road courses and we pick one. You know, you got to come to a place like Watkins Glen. I think it's going to make for some of the best racing as you go right and left here. And these guys tonight in the Premiere Cup Series, Todd, they certainly did not disappoint. It was one whale of a race. Even if Derek there, he drove away there. He had the money shot all night long, had that clean air, had some guys have victim in their troubles, and he was able to drive away. But overall, I think we saw quite a spectacular race this evening.
Yeah, fantastic race, and I tell you what, Phil, I can't wait to the next one. The next track that we're coming to is Darlington, and that's going to be too tough to tame Darlington. It's just the Lady in Black. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in Darlington, and I know, Phil, that you're jonesing at the bit to see a retro kind of Darlington here on DRTV.
It's going to be a cool theme. You know, NASCAR for a couple of years now has done a retro throwback, if you will, race at Darlington Speedway, and we're going to do that next week. We're going to put Rich to work here and see if we can't go back to the retro DRTV look for one night and make that just a whole throwback kind of look here on DRTV. We cannot wait to get to Darlington next week. So until 7 nights from now, for my buddy, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton in the booth, who was in my ear saying, well, thanks for the extra work, buddy. We're going to put you to work there. And Too Tall Todd standing up here in the booth. Certainly not our forte on the road courses, but great job tonight, as always. My name is Phil Lacasse. We'd like to thank you all out there for watching us tonight on this latest installment of DRTV on the DRL Network. Good night.